Hi everyone! Just before we jump into the episode, I wanted to let you know about my brand new course at Education Business Club. So it's all about coming up with your big idea for your education business. And I wrote this course because I see that one of the biggest barriers to getting a business going successfully is being really clear on your idea. So who is it that you're serving? What is the problem that you're solving? Why is it a good idea? And knowing whether or not you'll want to stick with the idea long term. So in the course, I teach the 18 reasons why your business ideas will work and won't work, and the 6 key ingredients that you need to make sure that you have a viable idea. You're going to come away from the course being really clear on your new education business idea, whether that's you starting a business for the first time, maybe you're adding another income stream into your existing business, or even maybe you just want to sense check what you've done so far if you've been in business for a few years. It's not a long, onerous course, I didn't want to do that to you, but it will provide you with lots of action-focused information that you can just start acting on straight away. You can find the course at educationbusinessclub.co.uk/training. Thank you so much for listening to that, and here is today's episode. This is the Education Business Podcast for consultants and business owners providing services in schools. I'm Claire Riley, and I'll be sharing how to start, grow and scale your education business. So today's episode is all about what we didn't know in the beginning before we started our education businesses. And I'm still celebrating teachers turned entrepreneurs because I think we're uniquely skilled in many areas to help us build a business. So you're not only going to hear from me and what I didn't know that I wish I had when I started out, but you'll learn from other education entrepreneurs and what they didn't know either. So depending where you are on your journey, you'll hear stories that either resonate with you and or insights for getting started in your own education business. So before we begin, I wanted to share an observation about the things I didn't know when I started out, because I think they all link together, at least from my perspective. And each one of the things I'm going to share with you today, they all start with confidence. Confidence in myself. And that was the root of all the things that I didn't know when I started out. There were many misconceptions in my belief system at the time, and it's been a long journey to work through them. And I'm still working through them now, as we all have to do for the rest of our lives. It's so common to leave the classroom and have issues with confidence. And I see it all the time with ex-teachers that I work with at Classroom Secrets, my community in Education Business Club, and also in myself. So if you've already started your business and you feel like you could give me the answers for this title, what I didn't know when I started my education business, I'd be interested to know the deeper place where those thoughts and feelings came from. It's certainly worth exploring for your own personal growth, which will spill out into your business growth. So I do believe that it's enough to know that you're not alone, that it can be figured out and that others have walked the path before you. And one of the main aims with the training that Ed and I provide is for you to know that your doubts, your feelings, things that you're unsure of, they're just a normal part of it all, and that you can grow through it and achieve success. You know, we're living proof of that. And we're going to keep adding to the training that we're providing for you as well to make sure that you've got all the support that you need. So back to celebrating teacher entrepreneurship. Why am I doing this? I want you to be inspired, not just by me, but by others making new things possible for themselves as well. It doesn't matter where you are in the journey. You might have been in business years, or perhaps you haven't even got the idea yet. And by the way, I can help you with that if you take my big idea course. But you can still be inspired by what others are doing. So let's hear then from a few of my teacher entrepreneur friends about what they didn't know when they started their education businesses.
Hi, I'm Mark Warner, founder of Teaching Ideas and Teaching Apps.
Hi, I'm Jenny, co-founder of Alfresco Learning.
The one thing I didn't know when I started my business that I wish I'd have realised is that I can't do everything myself. I love the variety of tasks that my work involves, but getting help from others who can do things better frees up my time and lets me make even more content for teachers.
The one thing I didn't know when I started my business that I wish I'd have realised is just how much time you need to spend on things that aren't necessarily what you set out to do.
Let's start by talking about personal brand. So when I started Classroom Secrets in 2013, it was less of a thing on social media, or at least in education anyway. And I thought that I needed to build a corporate feel for Classroom Secrets. Basically, I was trying to portray everything that I wasn't at the time. And I thought that in order for teachers to take me seriously, I had to present a faceless brand and make it appear like there was a machine behind it. And if I'm honest though, it wasn't just about believing that to be professional, that I had to have a faceless brand. It was also because of fear. I didn't want to be the face of the brand because I was worried that the teaching community would find me out. I felt very unqualified to be starting this venture. And my biggest fear was somebody saying that to me publicly on social media and then everyone else agreeing, and then that just being the end of that, the end of me. And I really wanted this business to work. So I believed that I needed to hide who I really was. It's quite sad when you think about it. It wasn't until a few years later that I was able to resonate with teachers who found the juggling of teaching and life hard. And I could show that I related to them because I was that person too. And I found being honest and vulnerable won me supporters, and it felt good to know that people were on my side and they really did appreciate what I was doing. And over time, this grew until I really started showing myself on live videos and letting the community get to know me. So the personal brand piece was huge in moving my business forward. It gave me space to connect with people through similar feelings. And remember what I said about everything being linked to confidence? Well, this misunderstanding was hugely linked to me not being confident in who I was. And the feelings of unworthiness and coming up with the misconceptions in my own head that I adopted into my belief system to prevent myself from having to step out of my comfort zone, which none of us like doing if we're honest. And what about the stuff that you do actually know? So when I started Classroom Secrets, I didn't think I needed to do a business degree, although I know that a lot of, that thought crosses the mind of a lot of entrepreneurs. But I did think there were a lot of secrets that the business community were keeping from me, and they would not tell me a potential competitor. It just didn't seem like a very friendly world. But I actually already did know quite a bit about business, just not through learning traditionally. It was more through instinct. So it's likely that you've got that ability too. You just need to realize that you do. So I just see business around me and I make the correct assumptions most of the time. So whilst I've obviously learned a lot over the past 17 years, a lot of it has been through trial and error, and I've figured it out along the way. So when we're starting out, we're much less clueless than we actually think we are. It's more about the skills you can apply and then keep tweaking until you're successful. So I've got 2 more things that I didn't know that I want to share with you. But before I do, let's hear from some other education entrepreneurs, some of whom you might actually know, and find out what they wish they'd have known when they started their businesses.
Hello, I am Sunita Bagri and I am founder of the Every Teacher Matters project.
Hi, I'm Amy Talbot, founder of Teaching Buzz Tutoring.
The one thing I didn't know when I started my business that I wish I'd have realised is it's a marathon, not a sprint. You've got to sow the seeds and tend to the growth through a pure labour of love.
The one thing I didn't know when I started my business that I wish I'd perhaps realised is probably how important Facebook was going to be for a local tuition user.
The funny thing is, when you've been on the journey and you look back, it can seem a bit ridiculous, the stuff that you're worried about. But we all do it. It's normal. And it's just baggage that we've got to work through as we grow as people. So the third belief I had before I started Classroom Secrets definitely has a humorous side. You see, I was scared of head teachers. And I honestly did believe that I wouldn't have to make contact with any of them at all. I just didn't realise that they were human beings like me and that they could recognise a good solution for the classroom if they saw one. I actually thought there were some kind of superhuman robots that could sniff out my fear and translate that into uselessness. And it's amusing to look back, but it's actually kind of scary thinking about it. I really had such a low opinion of myself. And I let this thought rule me, even though it wasn't true. I had no idea that I wouldn't be able to grow my business if I didn't start getting over some of my hang-ups, because that's what they were. I thought I'd be able to navigate them on my tiny fishing boat, doing my best to avoid the rocks in a storm. And I was just making it hard for myself. And that's why I talk about personal growth so much, because it's these kinds of thoughts, feelings, and beliefs that really do hold us back from achieving all we can achieve, particularly in business. And finally, the last thing I want to share that I didn't know before I started Classroom Secrets, that I wish I had known, was that my knowledge is valuable. Even back then, it was valuable, before I had all the experience that I've got now. And that's because I'd been on a particular journey from secondary teaching to primary with no support, and then I've been in many different schools as well, all with a different way of doing things. And that positioned me really well to have a better idea of what teachers really wanted. But instead, I believed that this unique experience was negative. In fact, you know what? No, I didn't believe that. I actually thought it was positive. I could see the benefits of it. But the crux of it was that I believed that other people would see it as negative. I didn't realise then that what other people think is none of my business. But I know that now, even though it's hard. So I want you to have a think about your own ideas and misconceptions. And maybe you've realised some of them while listening to this episode. Or maybe you've realised recently that they're just not true. How are you going to work out what those thoughts and feelings are and make sure that you can put them to bed so that you can move on to a more successful future? So let's find out what a few more of my teacher entrepreneur friends didn't know when they first started their businesses.
Hi, I'm Rosa, the founder of Diverse History UK.
Hello, my name is Andrew Whitehouse. I'm the founder of Andrew Whitehouse Limited.
The one thing I didn't know when I started my business that I wish I'd realised was that it's okay to ask other professionals for assistance and to give others yours.
When I first started my company, I was very secretive and I thought everybody was going to steal my ideas, and I didn't collaborate with anybody. Collaboration is most definitely the way forward.
So let me know on Instagram whose story has resonated with you the most. And I'll see you next time for more celebrating teacher entrepreneurship. Thank you for listening to the Education Business Podcast. To get more information to grow your business, sign up at educationbusinessclub.co.uk.